So as box office failures couldn't get any bigger than The Flash, Elementals, and other movies, we had movies like Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. Another movie that absolutely no one asked for. Ozzy Can't Really Trust these IMDb reviews, 6.9. Yeah, we all know it's not a 6.9 on average. Most people don't like this movie, okay? The average people who like the movie is only 28%. And according to IMDb, with a 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb, must mean that the movie's good. Must mean the movie's decent. No, it isn't. The real audiences, the ones we polled, only around 18% of people like the movie. It could have changed. We'll see. So this is Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny. We also have Ruby Gilman as well. But Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny has a 19% of people like the movie, which means any score over 7 out of 10 and higher is pretty bad. Mid is around 5 to 6 out of 10. Bad is 2 to 4, and awful is just awful. Okay. And go good. If IMDb scores are accurate, good would be the highest. Mid would be middle, but no. Indiana Jones: Dial of Destiny is not a good movie, like IMDb is trying to tell us. But again, it most likely is Disney is trying to keep the IMDb score up as high as possible. Okay, because like a Real Mermaid and Elementals, because they don't want people to know that this movie's garbage. So this is the good, the mid. It should be have an average score of like a 5 out of 10, not 6.9. Okay. Of course, you have all the bots coming and give you but again, 5 out of 10 would be the average score. But again, IMDb has 42,000 ratings. They only have 110 people as well. But the real score is around a 5 to a 5.5 to a 5 to a 6. Okay, that's the real score. But this movie is gonna lose money anyways. So at this current moment, Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny is The Flash. Okay, we'll put box office comparisons for all the movie and what we have so far. Ruby Gilman, negative 163 million, still way worse. Elemental still doing way worse than Ruby Gilman. Dial of Destiny, $607 million. This is historic box office flop numbers. Okay, of course it's definitely gonna make more money than that's $140 million worldwide, but this is historic numbers. Okay, Disney is gonna lose over $200 million on this. Again, Alita, a movie that they kept saying, oh, this is gonna lose $200 million. This is gonna lose $200 million. Only lost $20 million. Okay. We have other movies here. The Flash, negative $226 million. I think it's gonna make it might even not even hit $300 million. Whereas it'll be pathetic for Warner Brothers. I think Elemental might actually pass this movie globally, which would be pretty hilarious to see. Rise of the Beasts, which a lot of sites say it's $320 million, but a lot of sites would sell $195 million. Choosing $195 million. Even then, the movie's still negative $120 million in the red. Real Mermaid remake, again, negative $102 million as well. Well, Fast X, negative $143 million. Okay, and we even have go back to like stuff like Renfield, negative $140 million as well. No one went to go see that. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, negative $106 million. Shazam! Fury of the God, negative $147 million. And we have other movies going back, as well as The Votes, negative $206 million as well. Strange World, negative $84 million as well. But Indiana Jones: Dial of Destiny might beat out all those records of the world's grossing movies so far. Okay. New Jersey lost out $280 million. Blade Runner lost $166 million. You have other movies as well. I think John Carter. This movie has a running with John Carter. We have Fantastic Beasts 3 as well. We can add John Carter. So we have John Carter. Actually, John Carter made that's more money than Strange World did. That's how funny. That's how sad Strange World did. Strange World needed $450 million, but it made so little money that it beat out John Carter, a movie that is historically known as the biggest box office failure in box office history. Okay, the biggest box office failure. But then we have Dial of Destiny. This is Dial of Destiny. Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny. Okay, Kathleen Kennedy better be fired after this movie because this movie is gonna lose $400+ million if the movie has bad ratings. Assuming it does, the movie makes, let's say, $300 million total. Okay, the movie's gonna lose $447 million. The movie makes $4 million, which I think is pretty unlikely given its opening. I mean, it's doing worse, just as bad as movies like The Flash, okay, and the Transformers movie, okay, as well. You will have a whopping box office failure of $304 million lost. Some people are going to say, $250 million. No, it's even worse. $300 million. $400 million lost for Disney. Okay, this is awful. Okay, and Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny, struggles at the global box office because no one wants to see it. Nobody wants to see a movie where they humiliate elderly Indiana Jones for Phoebe Waller-Bridge, his Helena character. No one wants to see this movie. Okay, and I've been saying that no one's gonna want to see this movie. No one's gonna want to see a movie where Indiana Jones is humiliated throughout the whole movie by the female Indiana Jones, essentially. Okay, and Disney's gonna lose money on this. We're never gonna get a Helena Indiana Jones movie. Why? Because no one wanted to see the Dial of Destiny, which was a movie that humiliated Indiana Jones the whole time. Okay, no one wanted to see this movie. I'm glad people are starting to wake up to his woke bullshit. People are finally starting to wake up to his bullshit that Disney's trying to push down people's throats. People don't want a Indiana Jones movie where Indiana Jones is an elderly person that gets beaten out by his more smarter, maybe I could call Indiana Jones her because basically Indiana Jones is like a bitch for the whole movie what I heard, but nonetheless, okay, we're gonna use the proper pronouns because I'm not gonna use. We're not gonna get the misgendering police after us. But by his smarter, more greater female, character. Okay, by the quote unquote superior female character. That's what the whole movie basically is, and no one is going to see it. No one is going to see this movie. Okay, $75 million internationally. The number says $70 million, so he used $70 million, but it doesn't really matter. $5+ million is still negative $600 million loss at this current moment for Disney. Okay, and we also are gonna talk about Teenage Kraken, another video. Okay, and how that movie could spell the end of another harmful trend in animated movies, which we all know hate, the bean mouth art style. But Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny, okay, this is the biggest failure of all time, okay. So we have a list of biggest box office bombs in history, okay. What is the number one box office failure of all of history? John Carter, by our numbers, lost $350 million. Okay. It's $250 million. I think that must have been a typo. It's $250 million. The movie costs $250 million. So, if it's $350 million, that's even more worse for this movie. Okay. But we have 20 biggest box office flops of all time. You already know. As well, Cutthroat Island, for Euphoria. The Lone Ranger lost $240 million. John Carter lost $255 million for this movie. But theoretical losses is $355 million. Okay, Strange World beats John Carter in box office failure. Okay, Strange World should be number one on this list. Okay, Strange World is the number one box office failure of all time. Okay, but then we have Indiana Jones: Dial of Destiny. Okay. Indiana Jones: Dial of Destiny film Strange World 174, so every $79 million. This is probably just a total wash overall. Okay, because you do have merchandise for this movie at Disney World. You do have streaming digital HD, which did sub it down to $139 million. Amsterdam, White Yale, where that includes the massive merchandising push this movie had as well. Because a lot of this includes all expenses. Okay, not just the feeders. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Strange World. Okay. Yes, if you include the Babylon as well, another movie that nobody wanted to see. And it's funny, a lot of these, except for White, you all have something in common. They're all not part of the franchise. Not too surprising, though, because non-franchise movies have been struggling the past couple of years. Okay, because non-franchise movies have traditionally relied on the actor, the person, the lead actor, actress in the movie. It seems that doesn't really work anymore. So non-franchise movies have been struggling at the box office. But now even the big franchise movies are struggling. Indiana Jones: Dial of Destiny is the biggest box office failure in all of history. Okay. Stuff like John Carter and Kung Island and The Lone Ranger have historically been cited as the biggest box office failures in history. We have stuff like Space Jam: A New Legacy, stuff like Lightyear, stuff like Strange World. Movies that historically have been, massive failures. Even stuff like Elemental, which is could probably make a lot of money from merchandise as well. You're looking at Indiana Jones: Dial of Destiny being the biggest box office failure in all of history. The facts matter. And your opinion, and people who do like this movie, well, I feel sorry for you because this movie is one of the biggest, ultimately biggest failures in history. Okay, they took, Harrison Ford from the grave to be in this movie, and no one cares about this movie all too much. Spider-Verse, however, hit $600 million globally as well, which, is good for that franchise, but again, and good for animation, but Dial of Destiny continues to lose money as it's the biggest box office failure of all time. Goodbye.